Without much ado, I will jump straight into the session. This evening, I'm here with a sensational and sensitive topic. But somehow I'm not able to concentrate where I see my dear friend Shelma a little upset. I can't go on without hearing her out. What happened, Shelma?
Arey Amita, you know, today I made paneer and rice and dal for my children.
Wow,
What wow! They asked me, why did I make this paneer today? Isn't there anything else?
maybe they don't like paneer much.
Arey, they do like it. But you know, their mood, I don't know what to say. Sometimes they just like what I do, and sometimes they just don't appreciate what I do for them. It's very difficult to predict their mood, and they're not even appreciating the effort I took to go to the supermarket. I can't understand their behavior.
Oh, wait. I think you are in the right place then this evening. This session is about understanding the teenage behavior. Teenage or the adolescence is the period of transition between childhood and adulthood. It includes some big changes to the body and to the way a young person relates to the world. Parents who are having teenagers at home can quickly relate and empathize with this topic. To others, those who, uh, excuse me, just a second, Toastmaster Surmi, can you admit the persons who are coming? Then I need not get distracted by that.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Thank you. Parents who are having teenagers at home can quickly relate and empathize with this topic. To others who have children who are yet to reach this age must have heard family or friends discussing about them. Let me tell you, this whole evening, the them and their is going to be, they are going to be the heroes of this evening, the teenagers. Is it normal for teenagers to be moody, to show some disrespect and defiance as they grow up? Or how much should their short tempered be pampered by us parents? They may begin spending more time with their peers and they are happy that way. Or they lock themselves in their room away from their parents. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the truth of this journey. While every child's journey to adulthood is unique, that's what I believe. I challenge anyone to say that it has been entirely effortless. I understand every family dynamic is unique and has to be understood within its own context. Some families are like cool, everything is fine at their home, they are not fussy. Some have overprotective or overindulgent parents. Some are burdened only with issues, and some seem to be just so perfect, kind of God gifted. Everything in their life seems to be moving on so smoothly. You know, this morning I had a friend who called up and she was sharing her thoughts. Actually, the mother daughter duo had gone shopping last week as there was a big sale there in here. And they had gone there very happily, very elated. But by the time they came back home, it wasn't the same situation. There were disagreements over the choices, then there were agreements, and then the final thing, face off. Whichever dress the mother suggested, the daughter picked up exactly the opposite. The daughter was sending pictures to her friends for asking for their opinion. My friend's question was why? Why was her daughter not respecting her opinion? Okay, agreed that there can be differences, between, owing to the generation gap, the choices may differ. But does that mean that the peer influence is much more than the parents' influence? Or was she just so indecisive? If she was so indecisive in just choosing clothes, that is a petty little thing, how will she manage her life? So many questions, so many queries. They just come up every day. So much of understanding is required to ease out our lives. For that, today we have amongst us Dr. Vishakha Vohra. I request all of you to give her a thunderous applause and welcome her on board.
Thank you so much.
A few words about Dr. Vishakha Vohra. She is a counseling psychologist with a PhD in psychology and 25 years of experience in counseling, guiding, teaching, and training across different age groups. She has been empowering the young adults and helping them to grow into beautiful individuals. And today, we are lucky to have her with us to empower the older adults, us, parents. Once again, a hearty welcome to you, Doctor. So, Doctor, basically, I would present the questions to you categorically.
Okay.
I would like to ask a question, first of all, about the mood swings. Are the slamming of the doors and shouting, grunting, and arguments more of a norm? How can we deal with this? Is there any kind of mantra which we can follow to ignore or really not take it to our heart?
Okay. So, hi everyone, and Amita, thank you so much for inviting me here. Firstly, and so before I begin answering your question, let me just very briefly, just tell the audience that number one, do not this the whatever we will be discussing here or the answers that we'll be getting here are general guidelines. Okay. And so like it is always said that a little knowledge is dangerous, so do not extrapolate from what we discuss here to directly applying it immediately and then feeling a sense of frustration that we did not get any results. So here what we are going to understand are getting general guidelines, number one. And of course, yes, if you do apply them, you will get some results, maybe. And three, if you are interested in knowing more in depth, in detail, or discussing individual issues, you can always connect with me personally. Okay. So now coming to your question, Amita, mood swings. And one, are they something which is normal? Are they part of, and second part of it is like, what is a mantra? So, okay. So first part I would like to say is, like you mentioned in your introductory, speech, that this is a phase of life wherein there is a maximum amount of change happening within the child. So, this kind of growth spurt is seen after, like, this was from between 0 to 2 years initially. And after that initial phase, this is the second time in your entire life that the maximum amount of growth spurt is going to take place. And the growth is happening at various levels, at your physical level, at a hormonal level, at a emotional level, at a mental level. And it is a time when a child is genuinely exploring and trying to understand more and more about himself and finding out, who am I, what kind of person am I actually becoming. Now what happens is, as this questioning is happening almost at a moment to moment basis, and the changes are happening within, inside the child. So from outside, as a parent, for you the child appears to be just like the child was always there. Okay. But inside the child is changing rapidly, and because a lot of hormones are involved at this point of time, that is where the mood swings come in. Okay, that is where the all the changes come in, wherein within seconds you feel abhi to theek the, and abhi suddenly what happens, what has gone wrong, right? So that is the reason why mood swings happen. And so and more so this question of mantra coming in. Parents, or rather mothers, I would say, take a chill pill. That would be a single line mantra. But honestly, jokes apart, so the mantra would be first understand your own emotions or your own reactions to the mood swing of a child. So you talked about slamming of doors, you talked about talking back, or you're talking about being disrespectful. How is your reaction to it? What is it that you are feeling? First, understand, analyze your own emotions and feelings, work on them, and then respond to the child rather than react. So that's the mantra you can apply.
Okay, that's pretty. I think yes, we parents need to be coached first and then put out our problems to the doctor. Okay, the second in line question is there any particular reason for them being indecisive? I know not all kids are that way. Some of them are pretty headstrong.
Mhm.
But how do we understand this behavior of our children?
See, as I said, children are constantly and they're trying to discover themselves, they are trying to understand themselves, they are trying to figure out things for themselves. And the only method that they know how to do is do and try, find out, see what works and see what does not work. Okay. So what happens is because they are not yet very sure about the answers, they are, and secondly, they are hesitant to ask you as a parent because they are not sure what your views might be, how you would respond to it, how you would, will you scold them, will you be angry with them? And there are issues which they might be even feeling, embarrassed about to talk, or they might feel, insecure enough to talk to you as a parent. Although you always feel, but I have always been friendly with my child. I have always encouraged, openness. How come my child does not trust me? But it does happen at that age. You're so unsure of yourself, you want that constant reassurance, and that reassurance comes from friends. Why? Because they are also in the same boat. So the example that you spoke about, that a friend going to the mall and the child picking up choices, all that she talked with her friends first and then going in according to their choices, because at that age that fear, uh, you know, peer acceptance is more valued. Why? Because the feeling is that there's a what is a commonly known term today is the fear of missing out or FOMO. Okay, so if I do not act, or if I do not wear, or if I do not behave in the way my friends are doing, I may be tagged as somebody who is odd, somebody who is different, and no child wants that. At that age they want to really blend in with all their peers, and that is the most important thing for them. And since they are still trying out, since they are very unsure, they will rely on the feedback from their friends more rather than their parents. Now what has happened is, in this situation, the parent who till the age of say 11 and 12 has been taking all the decisions for the child, whether it is a small thing or it is a big thing, so suddenly, when you are left out of the decision making process of your child, the parent is at a loss. The parent feels, oh, what has happened? Why am I suddenly not in the limelight of my child's decision making? Right? And so the parent is also at their own level trying to adjust to this new reality. And that is where that conflict comes in, wherein the expectations of the parents are different, the expectations of the children are different, and there is unfortunately not enough understanding on either part about how to bring about a common platform where you can actually be a part of their decision making, and at the same time give them that kind of independence or that kind of choice where they are able to consult their friends and also take their own decisions. So that has to be something that has to be learned.
It looks like a difficult task. First, befriending them and then getting hurt in the process, and still maintaining our cool and the same rapport with them, showing them that we still trust no matter what, how they behave with us. As you said, we have to take a chill pill, especially the mothers. Okay.
So basically, just to
Yeah.
add to what you said, actions speak a lot louder than words. So when you,
Mm-hmm.
if you say you want your child to trust you, show it. Small thing like if they are on their mobiles or on their gadgets the whole time,
Hmm.
trust them enough to, okay, you may not know what exactly are they actually doing on the gadget, but have a conversation wherein you clearly mention that, okay, this is, I have a concern that there are so many online things that are not good for you, and I'm concerned about that. So I trust you to be careful. It's just that as a parent I have this concern and I would like you to be careful, and so that's the reason why I'm discussing this. So make sure you are not doing anything which will be harmful to you right now or even be harmful to you in the future. So having that
Hmm.
kind of conversation or just sitting with them sometime to explain this is an action you're taking, which will work much better rather than just क्या सारा time how, why are you always sitting on the phone, what are you doing, किसके साथ दिन भर chatting हो रही है. So all these things that so it's an accusatory tone, and that is where makes them switch off. That is where they feel ki, you say you trust me but you're not really trusting me. So
Hmm.
it has to be always an action that you do which will make a difference.
True, very true. It makes me realize my own words, what I do. It so often happens, and the same dialogue goes every day, and they come back, they throw the answer back to me. You don't know. I have just now taken the phone in my hand, and this is the time when you just enter and you scold me. It always happens, and I then say that how can this be a coincidence every single day, every time? But I guess you are right. Yes, we need to balance.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next question here is it natural for teenagers to want to disengage from their families and like to spend more time with their friends or participating in extracurricular activities? Many of the parents complain our child or children don't want to accompany us, be it a drive or be it to pay a social visit. As it is, they used to hate doing this. Now, owing to the COVID times, the social activities has anyway withdrawn, even for the
Yeah.
parents. But whatsoever we feel, let's go out on a weekend with the whole family. But we always tend to miss our children. So, to
Correct.
what extent can or should the parents be patient enough to see them withdrawing from all these social interactions and no longer enjoying the activities which they might have once enjoyed?
So firstly, parents, I would say it is very normal and natural for
Mhm.
children to feel a high level of anxiety, social anxiety it is called as. It is natural and normal for them to feel that very high level of social anxiety at this age. Okay. And that social anxiety is about physical appearance, is about, it is more got to do with how I appear to others. Okay.
Mhm.
So for what the parents feel is a normal outing is for the child a complete evaluation of how they are dressed, how they are looking, what kind of brand they are wearing, and so on and so forth. So with that high level of anxiety, they would rather avoid that anxiety than be actually a part of it and transition to a place where they are like they feel more conscious about how they are looking, or they feel that okay, somebody's judging me for my looks or somebody's commenting me for what I'm wearing. So they would rather avoid that kind of anxiety. That is one. Secondly, and this is the kind of age wherein because they are so conscious about their physical appearance, especially even family, I wouldn't say gatherings, but right now it's more on a online platform also, like family sitting at different places and you meet on online. So there also the typical kind of questions, if your child is say in that 15 to 18-year age group, they are all that they're going to be asked about is, so what are your future plans? And they are like, okay, I don't have any plans right now. They would be like, okay, so how many girlfriends or boyfriends do you have? Again, they are like, oh my god, I'm being judged here. Okay, so with those, they are not used to handling those kind of questions, and they're still grasping and trying to find their own answers. So that's what makes them very socially awkward, and they would rather avoid all this pressure and not go out anywhere. Okay. Thirdly, it is like, as I told you already, that at this point of time, because your friends are also in the same boat as you, and your friends झूठा ही sahi, but they will praise you more. They will accept you as you are in a much better manner compared to anybody else. Feel more safer to be with. Okay. And so what I would suggest here is, as an activity, like it is great if you give a choice to your child. Giving choices is extremely important in any and everything that you do with your child, especially at this age, and at all ages, but especially at this age, because you are one teaching them decision making and giving a choice, like a simple choice, like, okay, nowadays almost all the family members are working from home itself, so all your meals are in the house, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you have one meal together with us? A choice. It could be breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack time, whatever. But you give that choice. They may or may not come every day, but even coming for a few times will help them. Wherein, so within a family, you increase that kind of feeling that, okay, now we are not uh, you know we are not going to be judging you. You are accepted as you are. And the more this feeling comes in, then the more the child will probably later on be open to going out also in a social situation. Yeah.
Yes, true. So, what I understand from this session is like acknowledging and respecting their choices doesn't mean that you have to sit back and give them guidance. It means like, I think you have to make them feel important, explaining your thoughts on the matter and inviting them to tell you more in a mutually respectful way.
Absolutely.
That will be the best outcome, I think, between the parent and the teenager.
And just to add to this, sorry I'm interrupting you, but parents, this is where something very important. You, as you rightly said, that they want that importance and they want to share with you. Now let me tell you, as पेरेंट्स we feel कि हर चीज बैठ के एक specific time पे discuss होनी चाहिए. That does not happen, trust me. What happens is they will want to talk to you at the most inconvenient time for you. So you're washing utensils, they will want to come and talk to you. You're driving, they will want to talk to you. They will, so whenever you are engaged in any activity where you cannot directly look at them, they will be talking, and that is the time they want to communicate their innermost thoughts. So being attentive with your ears, you can continue with your work, but be attentive with your ears, respond to their emotions, respond to what they're talking about, rather
Hmm.
than dismissing it off. Not right now, we'll discuss it later. They demand their attention at their own convenience. So learn to identify those moments when they are, actually demanding your attention, and then drop everything and pay attention. That's very important.
We have to be even more hands on now. As it is, we are hands on parents now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, I can just recall how I would baby proof my home when they were small, and actually go on my knees and look around if everything is safe from the vantage point of the toddler. Here
Absolutely.
now we have to get on again on our knees and have a kid's eye view to really understand and help them encounter any kind of experience and position ourselves with kind of support and monitoring that needs to be in place and to help things go very smoothly. I'm sure pain and pride is always going to be there intermingled because at the end of the day it is the parents and the child. They understand each other, I'm sure, and we empathize with each other. It is just the push and pull relationship which each one of us experience. Okay. I see the red light going there, and I think it's time for me to end my project here, because and I can just sum it up, like many hormonal changes take place in these teenagers, and there is a period of brain development during puberty. So all this we can give credit to them. uh, the mood swings, the indecisiveness, and everything is can be credited to that. So the end result may be just agreeing, both of them agreeing on one course, and more likely to reach a satisfying and a safe outcome. So I thank you, doctor, for readily agreeing to be a part of my project and lending your precious time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you
I
so
would
much,
like to
Amita,
also
and I
thank,
congratulate you for a very well conducted session.
thank you, doctor.
Really well done. Yeah.
I would like to thank all the guests and all the other club members who are present here. And of course, last but not the least, my own club members, the Showstoppers, to encourage me and support me. They were there all the time. I will also take the opportunity to thank my mentor, DTM Anita Naidu, for all the guidance and motivation. Before signing off, with due respect to my children and Shelma's children, nothing of this sort really goes on. But yes, everything is there present. It's all, like ubiquitous everywhere with the same teenagers and the parents and the push and pull relation. But nevertheless, it is always a beautiful journey with children. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Now I hand over the stage to Toastmaster Manpreet. We can have a open forum. If anybody would like to ask questions, they are welcome to ask questions. I end my journey here. So timer, you can stop. Thank you. So the floor is open for the guests and the members. If you would like to ask some questions to Dr. Vishakha.
I guess a lot of food for thought has been got today by the members, so they're still
Yeah, no,
thinking.
it was really a wonderful session. Thank you so much, Dr. Vishakha and Toastmaster Amita. I feel that it's really it'll be helpful if you can share the contact details of Dr. Vishakha, so that we all can think of questions. Sometimes on the spot we can't come up with the questions, but we can all get in touch with her, and we can also
Yes.
share the details with others. So
Yes.
if you can just share the
Yes, I'm
contact
sharing
details.
in the chat box, so you can just look at my website, and you can also connect with me at this number. So it is luxcounseling.com. If you can see my screen, if you can just make the screen
Uh,
bigger, for my screen
yeah, you
bigger.
can
You
take a
can probably,
screenshot. She
yeah,
has it in
because
the background.
the details are on my screen as well. So
Okay,
if I
there
can
is
be the
one
speaker
question.
mode, yeah. Sure.
How much should a parent interfere and be concerned about their friend circle?
So I would say that unless and until there is a very, very genuine reason for concern, wherein you are concerned about your child really getting into a lot of bad habits, I would say till that point of time, it's okay, you leave it, because again, as I said, it is a period of experimenting, and it is a period of learning by doing. So the child wants to figure out by himself or herself what are the things which are good for me or which are bad for me, right? So, and trust your own values that you have passed on to your children. Have that trust that your child is not going to go really way off the mark unless and until there is some serious issue wherein the child completely wants to go away from whatever you have brought up the child with, the kind of values you have brought up the child with so far. So unless and until there is a very genuine concern, like you feel that okay, my child might indulge into say smoking or alcohol or some any other online abuse or being So all those things. If you are concerned about that, definitely do sit and have a word again, wherein you just express your concern first. It never works with any person or any, forget about teenagers, it does not work with any person at all if you directly say no. If you flatly tell them, don't do this, they're not going to listen to you and going to exactly do the opposite. So it's always better to sit down and express your concern and then tell them, okay, this is what, these are the things I would like you to avoid. Okay. And feel free to come back to me if you are facing any such issue or if you feel my help is required in facing or addressing any such issue. So I guess that is how, until that point of time, I don't think it should be really an issue per se. Because see, you may not like certain of their friends, but they find value in them.
Correct. We need to
And the
respect
more you say that these are not good for you, the more they will be attracted to them.
that. Yeah.
So it is better to understand what is it they like in them.
Yeah, we need to
Does not
acknowledge their
does
choice
not
and respect
necessarily
their
mean that you
choice.
have to like them, but understand what they like in them. And that's it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. And there's one more question in the chat box.
Yeah.
How do you handle the issue of dress sense with teenage girls? To them, a model's dress cannot be wrong. Why stop me? I like it. So what?
Okay. So I totally get this concern from, especially from a mother's point of view, that if your child is wearing a dress which you think is inappropriate. Again, here, as I said, express your concern. So it's great if you can say that, okay, I completely support your need for freedom to wear whatever clothes you want, but at the same time one has to be very much be aware of how the eyes of the society are and what are the kind of harmful effects it could lead to. I'm not saying there is a connection between your dress and the the resultant whatever happens, but yes, it has been time and again been seen that although you might be comfortable with something, somebody else might look at you with a different eye, which is not good. And
Hmm.
so it's a tricky discussion because at this point of time, as I said, they want to be and being liked by peers, and then they want to check how bold you are and how how much you can be very high-fi or great looking in front of your friends. So definitely that attraction is there. So it is a tricky question, but then have a gentle, mature discussion works better. Understand why they want to do it, understand the reasoning behind it, and then guiding accordingly would work much better.
True. Actually, it's a vast topic, and many questions can keep pouring and pouring on. It is a sensitive issue, and we all need that there should be a harmony in the house, and that's why it is very essential need of the time to understand, acknowledge, and most of all, respect each other. One last question, doctor, if you permit.
Yeah.
How to change his focus from more screen time activities to something more constructive?
Okay, so my first question to the person who's asking this question will be, how will you define constructive? What is your definition of constructive? Is it some physical activity? Is it not watching TV? What is it that you are looking at when you say being more constructive? Number one. Number two, again, the way you approach it will make a difference. Are you just saying don't do this, which of course will be rejected right away? Or are you giving a choice or an option? Or are you expressing your concern with the screen time? Now, see, many a times we assume that if they are, all the time watching some screen or the other, we assume that they are just being indulging into wasting their time. But it need not be the case. It need not be the case. They might be looking up information about certain topics, which are for example, if your child is say in the class 10 and they see that okay, all my friends are thinking about science as a career option, they would probably could be. It is possible that they might be looking up information to know more about that field. Okay, so do not just assume that all the time screen time is a waste of time. Number one. Number two, if they secondly, give options. What kind of options can you give? Thirdly, options like, as I said, physical activity, going out for some, maybe some kind of game, or, in the house activity, helping you out. What do you mean by those constructive things that you want the child to do, right? Thirdly is having that kind of discussion wherein you express your concern. And lastly, always leaving the choice to your child, because you also have to look at how much screen time you are looking at. Our screen time during the lockdown has also gone up substantially. Our phones are constantly, in our hands. Our laptops are also connected most of the time. So our screen time, TV is also something that is seen as the only way to relax, right? So our screen time has also gone substantially. And then, asking the child not to do something when you're doing the same thing is also not fair, right? So looking at various things, and that is how you need to address it.
True. As you mentioned before, actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I guess we need to stop now because the questions won't stop. I would request everyone to note down Dr. Vishakha Vohra's contact details, and you can directly contact her. She has put up in the chat box as well as it is there in her background, so you can take a screenshot.
You want me to move away so that that screenshot is clearer?
No, I think this is
No, I
fine.
took the screenshot and shared in the chat.
Yeah,
so
she has
everybody
shared it
can
in the
download
chat box
also.
also.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Manpreet, for that promptness. Okay. Okay, I take this opportunity once again to thank each one of you and the doctor herself and all the guests, members. Thanks a lot. I hand over the stage to Toastmaster Manpreet.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amita.
In the
Once
meantime,
again,
I would like to share a token of appreciation for Doctor. You can continue until then.
Yeah, you're sharing the screen.
Yeah, just a second.
I would once again like to say thank you, Dr. Vishakha. Although my son is little small for that teenage age, but yeah, the same issues we do face, and my cousins and all, they keep talking about those concerns which Toastmaster Amita raised now, and I'm sure like sharing your contact details would benefit them as well. So thank you so much for being there, and thank you so much to the audience for being there for Toastmaster Amita's project. Uh, Toastmasters is all about helping each other, and this is how we help each other, by being there, by sharing everything. Thank you so much once again, and with this we can stop the recording. And yeah, here's small token of appreciation for Dr. Vishakha.
Thank you so much. Something that I will definitely cherish. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Manpreet, could you call upon my evaluator?
Yes, now I was just going to do that. There's some chat. Yeah. Can I please call upon Toastmaster Sharon? Toastmaster Sharon with the evaluation, please.
Yes. Thank you so much, especially to Toastmaster Amita, for gifting me a wonderful, value-added afternoon. 1 hour that I spent with you, it's totally something that is worth attending. And once again, congratulations for this wonderful initiative. Now, let me start with, I'll not go into detail of what was discussed inside the session, but we'll be looking at how the session was organized. That is what our Toastmaster Amita's project is all about, organizing online meetings. Now, as they say, the spectacular achievement is always preceded by unspectacular preparation. So it is like so much of preparation has gone into this particular event by Toastmaster Amita that she has come out with glory, with wonderful and insightful session. Now, the skills that are expected to develop when you do this particular project is facilitating an online meeting, interacting skillfully with the participants, adapting to the participants' feedback, and overall time management skills. Now, if I look at all that, she has successfully achieved all the objectives for this particular project. So kudos to Toastmaster Amita. Let's give her a round of applause because she's done it very well. Let's see how she has done this particular project. Organizing and preparing is a key element to any successful event. So the first thing that she did was selecting the most appropriate topic, which was relatable. Then she found out the apt resource person. We couldn't have asked for a better person than Dr. Vishakha Vohra, because we could relate to her, and the way she has explained it to us. Even though I don't have teenage daughters or sons, I could relate to it because I've seen many people, and I thoroughly enjoyed the way she interacted with all of us. So deciding on the right person, right resource person is the key element of a successful event. Then comes the organizing part, scheduling the meeting, making the posters, inviting guests, and she even did the circulation of a Google form for the questions to be asked to to the resource person. So all that was done to the T. And then inside, once the meeting started, she had all the silent role players ready. She had briefed them. She had timers who were showing the time. The Zoom master were ready. Everything was in place. So well done, Toastmaster Amita, on ticking all the boxes for a very well done online meeting. Now, this is an ever-evolving field, the technology, and we Toastmasters have gotten into this online platform for the past 1 year, and we are enjoying it, and good that you could make use of it as well. I love the way you opened the topic with that conversation with your friend. That was a very nice way of opening the topic, breaking the ice, and your delivery, as far as your delivery is concerned, very calm and composed, so confident, very clear. The clarity was excellent. You maintained eye contact throughout. The voice modulations and the gestures were all augmenting the experience of the participants. Now, where could we take some improvement? Now, what I would love to have is a little more interaction with the resource person for the participants. So maybe you could have uh, you could have explained how the people could have asked the questions through chat. If you have any questions, in the beginning itself, if you could have just mentioned that whatever questions you have, just by send it to one person. You could also collate all the questions and keep it with you. You could just mention, and people were coming in while the session was going on. People were coming in. So if you can just mention that in the beginning or in the chat also, if you have any questions, just keep sending it to us. We will collate and send it to the resource person. And I felt the introduction a little too long because we had only 25 minutes. I wanted to listen to more. That's one another thing. But we had a lot of questions as well. So try and keep the introduction short and sweet, but at the same time to the point. But altogether, it was a fun session, well organized, well conducted, and it was handling the most appropriate topic. You had the most wonderful resource person, and it was catering to the right audience. All in all, a beautiful session. Kudos to once again, congratulations, Toastmaster Amita, for this wonderful initiative. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharon. Indeed, I will keep all these points in mind and give a better presentation next time. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Manpreet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita. Thank you so much for a wonderful evaluation, Toastmaster Sharon. Yeah, so we are all on the journey, and provided we'll also implement these points while we are attempting these projects for ourselves. Thank you so much, everybody. We can conclude this meeting here. Thank you so much, Dr. Vishakha. Thank you, Toastmaster Sharon. Thank you, Toastmaster Amita, to have this wonderful session and wonderful topic, which all of us are benefiting from. Thank you so much, audience, for being there to help Amita finish her project. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you once again from the bottom of my heart to each one of you who are present here. I feel successful today. Elated. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Congratulations, Amita. Nicely done. Yeah, nice.
Thank you. Thanks a lot to you, all of you.
Congratulations.